Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living. My name is Gary and today we're making wheat bread. So I've been kind of perusing the bookstores trying to find some different recipes for my wheat bread, and I ran across this book called Better Homes and Garden, The Complete Guide to Bread Machine Baking, and it's for 1.5 to 2 pound loaves. As a matter of fact, the recipe that I'm going to be using today will be on page 15, and it's just basic whole wheat bread. Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living, a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. The ingredients are really simple and easy. You need a bread maker. It doesn't really make a difference what kind you have. You need a whole wheat flour, bread flour. You need bread maker yeast. We're going to use, instead of vegan butter, we're going to use Crisco all vegetarian shortening. You need salt. We're going to use Himalayan sea salt. I do believe that's it. And we have to use water, and we have to use milk, which is in the refrigerator. So we're going to use almond milk, which is 30 calories per cup. So, like everything else, you have to follow your manufacturer's directions. For the Oster, you put in the water first, the dry ingredients next, and the yeast the very last time. So we're just going to get started and get this done. So according to their directions, you need for 1 pound loaf, which is 16 slices, divided by 2 is 8, which is probably what's going to happen in our family. You need a cup of milk, 3 tablespoons of water, 4 teaspoons honey or sugar. We're going to use granulated vegan sugar. 1 tablespoon of margarine. We're going to use Crisco vegetable shortening. 1 and 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour. 1.5 cup of bread flour. 3/4 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast or machine yeast. Now, I've done a few recipes in this book. It's an excellent book, and it's over 10 years old, and I think I paid $1 for it. Something to think about, buying the older books and trying them out. I haven't seen the new Better Homes and Garden bread book, so that may be coming soon. Okay, so we're going to start measuring and put it together in our bread maker and get it started. Okay, so it's manufacturer's directions first. So, wait my notes. So first thing that goes in is the cup of milk, almond milk. Then 3 tablespoons of water. This represents the water. I use osmosis water, or drinking water. So then after that, we're going to put in the margarine. Now I think that Crisco vegetable shortening has gone on bad rap, where people are really worried about it. There are some cases where Crisco shortening is healthier for you than vegan butter. Anyway, so there goes this in. If you don't agree, just simply write it down in the comment section and I'll point you out to that source. Then it's the flour. Here it's a cup and a half of flour, so we're just going to sift it. The secret a lot to your breads is to use fresh ingredients. This is a fresh flour, but it got lost in the back of my fridge. And if I don't use it up making delicious bread, I'm going to end up having to throw it away. And I hate to do that. Okay, the rest doesn't want to come through. So then we're going to remeasure. There's 1. Okay, and you see there's a little bit left. We'll just put that in a plastic bag. We won't put it in our original bag. So there goes the whole wheat. And And then next is the bread flour. Okay, so then this is 1.5 cups of bread flour. This will really be really cool. Look at that. But then it's also it's very, very fresh. I mean, we only bought it a week ago. Okay, and then we'll remeasure. And we'll pour this in. The next thing you have to do is after that, you put in your salt on the top. Your sugar that feeds the yeast. Himalayan sea salt. Vegan sugar. And the last thing you have to put in is, I use Fleischmann bread machine yeast. You have to make sure this is very fresh. This will expire January 21st, 2023. We bought it a month ago. Usually it has a much longer expiration time, but okay, so you make a little hole. And this time I'm going to bring the camera and show you what the hole I'm talking about. So what I did is I made a little depression in the mound of flour, like that. And I'm pouring the yeast in, like so. And then, let's push this back a little bit. Close the lid. And then you go through the cycles now. Okay, now what it is we have it for whole wheat, light crust, 3 hours and 40 minutes, and we turn it on. Okay, so that's basically it. So in 3 hours and 40 minutes, I'll show you the loaf. It's going to go through various cycles. And if you see my other videos, you've seen some of those other cycles. And we basically leave it alone. All right, so it started, it's heavy mixing, where it's creating the ball. And all I do is make sure that there's nothing on the edges. But you don't really even have to do that. When we first started using the bread maker, we didn't even know we were supposed to do this, and it always grabbed it off the edges. Okay. All right. So briefly, this is Use Your Manual Bread Recipes Oster 2-pound Express Bake Bread Maker. It's over 11 years old. This is the whole wheat bread machine stages. So for the whole wheat bread cycle, you can expect the following. And then you'll always seen this before this video. But at 3 hours and 40 minutes, the bread is kneaded for 10 minutes. At 3:30, the bread begins to rise for 25 minutes. At 3 hours and 5 minutes, the dough is kneaded for the second time, 20 minutes. At 2 hours and 45 minutes, the dough continues to rise for 30 minutes. At 2 hours and 15 minutes, the dough is punched down. Also, at 2 hours and 15 minutes, the dough rises for the final time for 70 minutes. At 1 hour and 5 minutes, the bread begins to bake for 65 minutes. And then it's finished. We're getting ready close to the dough. We're just going to make sure that this flour stuff is away from the corners. We're basically just kind of playing with the machine. This is not, you don't have to keep the lid down. There't no baking being done right now. You can have a little fun with it. But you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Alright, so we're going to let you go. And we will be back towards the very end when the bread is being made. See you in a little bit now. So we're only at 32 more minutes to go. So as soon as that does happen, we'll stop the machine, show you how to remove the bread, put it on here, let it cool down, for approximately an hour, and then we're gonna have a delicious piece of bread. Can't wait. So it just buzzed. We're gonna pull the bread out. What we do is I snap this like this, and the bread always falls right out. Now this is really, really hot. We're gonna let that cool. Remember, there's a hole in the bottom of this bread, but look how beautiful this bread turned out. What little hole is not gonna damage your bread that much. So just let it go like that. Nobody's gonna see it. We're gonna let this, turn this on. We'll leave the cover on so that it can cool down. Now this thing over here, you just have to unplug it. Otherwise, it'll start beeping and it'll kind of give you a reminder that this needs to be done. So once Linda came in the room and saw this beautiful loaf, she said, "We're not waiting an hour, we're having it now."
That's right, we're cutting it.
So do you want to cook it on the high side or the low side? See, we'll be shorter pieces of bread that way. Kind of on this side, we have a full slice.
I would do it that way.
Right there?
Yeah. There is nothing like fresh from the bread maker, nice warm bread.
Okay, let's get some plates.
Well, we can just split that one. That'll be fine.
Okay, so we're going to split the first piece of bread, but if you take a look at the crumb is nice and soft, and I bet you it's going to taste wonderful. About like that? Get that butter knife.
There's nothing like when the butter melts into the fresh made bread.
So today what we're going to be using is Earth Balance Organic. This is vegan. It's got non-GMO. So.
And Knott's Pure
Brand new.
Seedless Boysenberry.
There's your butter on it.
Are you going to put butter on yours?
No, skip the butter on mine. I'm just going to put it
Which side do you want?
Whichever side you don't want.
Put it on the little one.
Okay. Get a spoon for me.
Put a dollop on mine too, please.
Okay. Like that. So on these frigid, cold days, there's nothing like a nice toasted piece of bread.
Fresh from the bread maker.
Me.
Thank you, love.
You
Shall we
bet.
toast?
We toast our bread together. Oh, that's nice.
Good crust.
Light crust instead of that heavy stuff we've been using.
This is whole wheat bread Gary made this time.
Alright, thanks a lot for watching. We look forward to seeing you in our next bread video. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up and thank you for watching.
Next after that is 4 tablespoons of sugar. So we're saving that for the end according to our manufacturers.